Right, let's go. 1, 2, 3, 4.
I don't know who that is. That guy doesn't really seem like he'd be good at playing James Potter. I'm sorry. I know James and I just feel like that's not really the vibe that people would want to go for, you know? I just feel like I'm more, you know, in line with the character. Come on, put me in this one, put me in this one, put me in this one. I've seen a lot of this guy's Remus. Okay, I could work with that guy. Yes! We're back on track, baby.
They just be like, oh.
I love the idea of Wolfstar raising Harry as much as the next person. But hear me out. Grant and Remus raising Harry. So I imagine it like this. Grant and Remus are living together, and Grant encourages Remus to reach out to Dumbledore or the Dursleys, just to like be a part of Harry's life. And Remus finds out how the Dursleys are treating Harry, and he's pissed, like anybody would be. So he comes back to the flat, expecting for Grant to like talk him down. He's like, okay, I can't do anything too rash. Grant, this is what's happening. I need you to calm me down. And instead of doing that, Grant is like, no, this is wrong. We need to do something. And Grant gets pissed off. And somehow they end up getting custody of Harry. Anyways, the end goal, Grant and Remus raising Harry.
She'll be driving 6 white horses when she comes. She'll be driving 6 white horses when she comes. She'll be driving 6 white horses. She'll be driving 6 white horses. She'll be driving 6 white horses when she comes. She'll be coming round the mountain when she comes. She'll be coming round the mountain when she comes. She'll be coming round the mountain. She'll be coming round the mountain. She'll be coming round the mountain when she comes.
That wasn't real. Who cares?
Don't say that. Please don't say that. It was real. It was real to me.
Memories of love. Oh, tra la 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 tra la 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 la
in the dark, and his broken record spinning left circles in the bar.
I have a better plan. I'll marry a wealthy man.
Wouldn't that make you gay?
Not necessarily.
That would be okay. What?
I'll sleep in a separate bed, and I'll refrain from giving kisses. We'll be happy for a while. I'll try to comply to his style and keep his mansion clean. Then I'll kill him and inherit his.
Wherever you go, I won't be far to follow.
We find this fucking skull here. It has a full set of teeth.
Ricky here.
And this dumbass goes, "You think it's a bird?"
With justice.
But the romance is amazing. It made me realize it doesn't matter if I'm straight or gay. I'm just me.
You got that from my book? That was positive. Do you think that's because of the gay dog character?
Yeah.
What I really respect about that is it's never mentioned that he's a gay dog, but you got that from the writing.
Shooting for the stars, but I couldn't make a killing. Had another time, but I always had a vision. Always had high, high, ho.
Are you
you hungry right now?
Not at all.
Really? I'm so hungry.
Well, you should probably eat.
I'm a genius. I'm a fucking genius. Like,
does that sound like something you want?
Yes.
Well, let me tell you, you'll never get it.
Yeah.
Jacket looks great. Yes. I don't know what you're talking about.
Nobody asked.
I never found you funny. I never found you entertaining. I never found you smart. I just found you annoying.
You cannot be for real. Oh my God, you for real. No, you for fake. No, you for real.
And by the way, well, hold on on that. Hold on.
Damn about me, 'cause I'm just a teenage dirtbag, baby. Yeah, I'm just a teenage dirtbag, baby. So listen to Iron Maiden, baby, with me. No, she doesn't know what she's missing. Yeah, she doesn't know what she's missing.
Here comes the boy. Welcome. Here comes the man. Hello, adult man. Welcome, taxpayer.
I have feelings for you. I have feelings for you.
The feeling was friendship.
Rest in peace to Princess Diana. Rest in peace, love. Rest in peace, baby cakes. It's a real shame that you never got to see what Gangnam Style was. It's a real shame. You would have loved to know what Gangnam Style was.
Hey, we're the same age. How come I never knew you in high school?
You probably went to Hatchetfield High. I went to Sycamore.
Fucking Timberwolves! We hated you guys.
We hated ourselves.
You can't tell me that whenever James and Remus were being particularly affectionate, both Lily and Sirius wouldn't jokingly yell, "Hands off my man." And that Lily didn't mean Remus and Sirius didn't mean James. To anyone outside of the Marauders, there were bets on who the real couples were because nobody could actually tell. A lot of Gryffindors lost money on betting that James and Sirius were together mostly due to Marlene and Mary's interference. Peter was one of them. Okay, so Regulus dies in the same year as James's parents.
I'm not gonna be merciful.
Imagine them looking after Reg in the afterlife, saying that any brother of Sirius's is a son of ours.
Now that was a lot of damage.
Woo! You can make money off the product. Cause look at Gaga. She's the creative director of Polaroid. I like some of the Gaga songs. What the fuck does she know about cameras?
Because.
Stop being sad over shit you can't control. Stupid.
Every single friend group of 3 has at least one of these dynamics. The 2 oblivious idiots in love and the 1 idiot who does know it. I have no idea how the goth, the prep, and the book nerd got together, but they're bonded for life now, so we might as well go with it. The 2 idiots and the 1 mom moderator friend. The 2 chaotic gays and the 1 token straight. 2 people who had a pretty strong friendship, but then looked down, saw this third person in the trash, looked at each other, and simultaneously said, "We're keeping him."
Your location, yeah.
Damn, Papa, you are. Rare breed, no comparing, and this motherfucker's scary. Damn, Papa, you are rare breed, no comparing, and this motherfucker, you're scary. Tryna keep him cause I found him. I could take you to the Barrings and then do Barry. Spend a motherfucking wedding. You just never wanna marry, bitch. Keep you married. I put the ring on when you ready. When you ready, babe. Fantasies out in real life.
You may not like it, but you better learn how. Cause it's your turn now. Now you suck. You wanna talk about sex, but we're not allowed.
fuck you. My child is completely fine.
Well, look who's inside again. Went out to look for a reason to hide again.
And this is what they said, that you're looking for a boyfriend.
Three-minute headcanon because I love moose. James's animagus is described as a stag, a large stag. This stag helped control Remus when he turned into a werewolf. Obviously, we don't actually know how that would work out, but in my mind, it worked out like this. Wormtail was too small for the werewolf to care about. Animals won't hunt prey that they think isn't worth it. Padfoot had some sort of camaraderie with the werewolf because they're both canines. Prongs had to be large enough and scary enough to intimidate the werewolf. That doesn't sound like a deer to me. Even a big deer. Which is why I think he was a moose. Moose in general are terrifyingly large. Canadian wolves will not go after a moose unless they are in a pack of like 30 wolves and they're going after only one moose who is alone, and even then, a lot of them die trying to kill it. My mother always says if you run into a moose with your car, pray for your car because the moose will walk off fine. Moose are a North American animal, although I'm pretty sure there's some in Russia. It is very likely that none of the Marauders knew what a moose was. James and Sirius were purebloods. They likely had very little knowledge of Muggle animals except for the Muggle animals that existed in the UK where they lived, which moose are not. Peter's blood status is never canonically stated, although it's assumed that he's a pureblood, but let's say for this one that he's a half-blood. He and Remus have a higher chance of knowing what a moose is, except for the fact that, as we know with Hermione and Harry, once Muggle-born children or the people raised in the Muggle world are introduced to the Wizarding world, they kind of just ignore the Muggle world. So essentially those two had from ages 0 to 11 to figure out what a moose was. They live in the UK. If they learned what a moose was, they likely didn't know what it looked like. Like, I knew kangaroos existed, but I didn't find out what they looked like till like I was 11, and I exist with Google. The Marauders grew up in the 60s. They probably didn't know what a moose looked like. But here's the kicker. I don't think Harry knew what a moose looked like either. Harry grew up in the 80s. Honestly, the same sort of situation. Probably knew that a moose existed before he went to Hogwarts, but didn't really know what it looked like. Hermione is honestly the only character I can see knowing what a moose looks like, because she devoted her entire childhood into researching random things. And I feel like in the UK in the 80s, to know what a moose actually looks like, you kind of gotta go a little further than just knowledge that you're given. You have to research it yourself. So when Harry finds out that his dad is a stag, and his Patronus ends up looking like his dad, if anyone was going to tell him that that was actually a moose, it would be Hermione. But I'm just going to lean into the off chance that she doesn't know what a moose looks like. And no one would ever know. It just would start with 4 idiots looking at James being like, wow, that's one big deer when it's actually a moose. Harry finally producing a corporal Patronus and Remus looking at it like, yep, that looks like the big deer. Basically, everyone's just living for years without realizing that it's actually a moose. Bonus, it would be funny if when they get older and Google exists, they find out what a moose is and they're like, hold on, wait a minute. My life is a lie.
James turns back. Dude, what was I? Padfoot. One honking deer, man. That was the biggest deer I've ever seen.
He ain't gonna jump no more. Gory, gory, what a hell of a way to die.
This is the life of Boba Bobo. This is the life of Boba Bobo.
This is the life of Boba Bobo. Bohemia. Bohemia.
Boba Bobo.